Nicko Wightman. I'm a botanist and horticulturalist here in Zambia, and today I'm going to talk to you about gardening with indigenous plants. So when I talk about indigenous gardening, I'm usually referring to growing the indigenous plants that we have, those plants that grow naturally in the bush here in Zambia. The type of plants that you can grow will really depend on the type of habitat that you have around your property. We have several different types of habitats in Zambia, although the most common is the woodland and grassland habitats. So here we have basically the woodland garden as I describe it. We have a canopy of indigenous Trichilia, Bridelia. There's a Combretum species just above me here. Traditionally this would have been mungo woodland, but over the last several decades, with it being obviously in a residential area, the species have changed. We've planted some new species in here that don't normally exist in this area of Lusaka, and basically have maintained a certain level of the mature canopy while still trying to add to it. When gardening with indigenous plants, you have to realize that most of these plants have cycles. There is obviously the growth cycle and the dormancy cycle because of our dry season and wet season here in Zambia. In that way, these plants will have a very specific window in which they flower and then are either in vegetative growth for the remainder of the year or dormant until growth comes on when the right indicators appear. That is usually with the rains. Here it is the dry season that we are in, the latter half of the dry season, so we're in the hot dry season at the moment. And this is usually actually a time of year where things are signaled into growth. So there are quite a few bulbous and bulbous perennials as well as trees and shrubs that will start to flower at this time of year. Basically with that sign of heat that comes on. So here we have one of the early flowering herbaceous perennial plants. This is Costus spectabilis in the Costaceae family, closely related to ginger. And most of the time these plants actually grow on fairly tall stems, upwards of 2 to 3 meters in most cases. But this species itself is what they call caulescent, basically stemless. It grows from a rhizome that grows deep underground, about 30 centimeters deep most of the time, and spreads out its leaves flat along the soil. So this is actually why I've got it here in this taller trunk bed that I built specifically for it, so that I could display it off of the ground where the grasses would normally swamp it and essentially slowly kill it off, basically. So here we have Gonotopus bovinii in the Aerasia family, the arum family. Most people would be more commonly aware of the black arum that we have, which also comes up roughly around this time of year, maybe into November. This is a bit of a lesser known one, produces smaller flowers, but they tend to be more white, with this then kind of purplish to maroon kind of colored mottling on the spathe. The Aerasia family is a little different than most in that this is the inflorescence here. They are well known for usually creating bad smells to attract pollinators, and the actual flowers are then down in this small little area, generally at the base of the inflorescence. There will be a section of male and a section of female flowers, with the female flowers ripening first and then the male flowers a day later to avoid cross-pollination. Here we have Stylochiton puberulus. This is also in the Aeraceae family, like the Gonotopus we saw previously. Only this one, the flowers are produced right at ground level, with the actual ovary being subterranean. So the actual flower just kind of sticks out just above the soil level here. And again, it's got the spathe and the spadix just on the inside there. We can't really see it because it's actually quite far down. This will attract the pollinators, and then the actual fruits will ripen below ground. Well, if you've liked what you've seen and you want to learn more about indigenous plants or see what else is out there in Zambia, follow me on Facebook on my Zambezi Flora page, or check me out on YouTube under Zambezi Flora as well, where I do more videos like this.